On this episode, we eat appetizers from the Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge and Splitsville. Today is November 2nd, 2021, and this is episode 405 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. And then if you hit that subscribe, you're going to get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. But if you want even more content, including in-park, resort, at-home live streams, discounts on Main Street Magic merchandise, a private Facebook group, and a whole lot more, visit wonderlandcrew.com and check out our Patreon group. If you want to check out our wonderful partners such as Mouse Dining, Expedition Roasters, Blenders Eyewear, Magical Charcuterie, Kingdom Strollers, and more, head on over to msmfriends.com and check them all out. And then if you're getting ready to plan that next Disney vacation, maybe Universal, looking to go on a cruise, or pretty much travel anywhere else in the world that will currently allow you to visit, head to msmears.com to learn more about our wonderful travel partner, Melissa Pilgrim, with years of experience, and fill out a form for a free quote. All right, so today we're doing a little bit of a dining review mashup, specifically kind of focusing almost on like appetizers, as during last week when we had gone down to test out Genie Plus, Lightning Lane, we did dine at the Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge, and then just this week when we went to the Blue October concert at Disney Springs, we stopped by Splitsville. So we just kind of want to share those experiences with you guys.
Yes.
Let's start with the Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge, Rhonda, and it's just kind of a reminder from our Genie episode.
Yes.
You did the wait list, right?
Yes.
Online.
And that was amazing.
Utilizing free Genie, correct?
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit more about that.
It was so awesome because, we were looking for some food and we were going to possibly, want to sit down and, I do feel bad that I kind of didn't look through the rest of the list, but we did see the Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge and I knew we could eat there and they had some new stuff. And we've always loved the lounge, but it's been a very long time. And I just clicked and it was fantastic. It was a wait time and I said approximately 35 minutes, which I think it ended up being close to an hour.
Yeah.
But it was still okay. We got to get a drink from the Brown Derby little lounge bar and walk over and shop a little bit. And then, I was called on my phone and I love this kind of wait list ability in the sense. I mean, and you can do this from anywhere. So you could technically be at your resort and be like, you know what, we're heading over to a park. Let me see what wait lists are available. Of course, if there are open regular reservations for some of the restaurants, you can snag them then. I know a couple things were open, but they were going to be later in the afternoon when we were already planning to hop over to Epcot. So that was kind of the whole reason we just, landed, I guess, on the Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge. I want to give a couple of our quick just bullet points for anybody that maybe is not familiar with the Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge and where it's located and all that kind of good stuff. Well, it is located at Hollywood Studios. And you do get discount. AP is 10% and Disney Visa is 10%. It does run it opens at 11 a.m. until 8 p.m.
Yeah, and this is all outdoor seating. With umbrellas and some coverings and such, in case it were to rain, and it's sitting right outside of the Hollywood Brown Derby.
Yes.
And what I really like about this is it has its own menu, which is not very vast, but you also get access to the entire regular inside Hollywood Brown Derby menu.
Yes.
Which has recently changed.
Yes.
So if you go back a couple episodes when we reviewed Hollywood Brown Derby and did some updates, a lot has changed since then. My steak Diane that I loved and raved about is gone.
Are you sad?
I am a little bit. Now they have replaced it with the filet mignon with Walt Disney's roast beef hash. It is kind of, I think, the swap out. They do still have the wild mushroom risotto that you had and you really
Yes, I was
enjoyed.
very happy
They
that
of
didn't
course
leave.
have the famous Cobb salad.
Mhm.
They still have the Brown Derby signature burger that we love. Sea scallops are off of the enhancement list, but they
Aw.
are available as an appetizer,
Oh,
which I
okay.
really enjoyed.
Perfect.
So a couple things have changed up inside. Just something to be aware of if you go in going, hey, Jeremy said this steak Diane was amazing. I would like to get it. I apologize. It is gone. I feel like this happens to us
I do.
kind of
too.
often. They do have a deviled crab and orzo gratin now, though, as an enhancement, which sounds pretty good.
It does.
Grilled asparagus and crispy potato cakes are some of the additional enhancements now. But outside the lounge menu, you have a couple of lounge entrees, but to me, these feel sometimes a bit more almost like appetizers in a sense. And you've got the Cobb salad, you've got the BLT sliders, a shrimp cocktail, charcuterie boards. So there's not a lot of options there, but again, you can get anything you want inside.
Yes.
Let's go ahead first, though, and talk about two very unique drink selections here.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Why don't you start first and talk about your martini flight and what you thought of it?
Yeah. So, we had a classic vodka martini and a pomegranate martini. So the classic gin martini, I don't think I realized it was gin,
Yeah.
so that's why I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But
Neither
it
one of us are
had-
big fans of gin.
It had the vermouth in it, and I felt like it had a lot of vermouth in it. I did not,
Yeah. This was
unfortunately.
this stings the nostrils. This was to me, not that I've ever had it, but I assume this is what paint thinner tastes like.
Ew.
On this one. I mean, it is the straight 100%. Like gin to me just has such a strong and unique flavor.
Yeah.
Because what is it, juniper berries? I think it's just not for me. And for this to be,
Mm-hmm.
and vermouth is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
You like yourself a good martini,
I
but
do.
this one you flat out did not care for. Correct?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Correct.
And going to these, so you can either get a single martini, regular size martini for $15. Or the flight of all three of these is $17.
Okay.
And they are smaller portions.
Okay.
Talk about the classic vodka martini, which you normally enjoy, but you would have yours dirty, correct? Which means it's got a
Correct.
bunch of
Yes.
juice in it.
And they didn't have it in it, so it was I felt like there wasn't much vermouth in that one,
Yeah.
and I felt like I tasted
Like it
pretty
was like
much
straight vodka.
straight vodka.
This is, when you get like that little water in the back of your throat that doesn't make you feel great. Thinking about these, for me personally,
I mean, it wasn't the classic vodka martini was not bad. But I will say I did like the pomegranate martini the best.
yeah, that one was pretty good.
Because you do have pomegranate liqueur, and then you have, of course, your vodka, and then there's a little bit of cranberry juice
Yeah.
with it. This one was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is kind of a lot like what we almost just drink our normal Tito's,
Yeah.
crayon and water. Instead, they're replacing the water with some, pomegranate liqueur.
Mhm.
So I thought this one was pretty good, but for me, and I know they're martinis, they're supposed to be filled with alcohol, but each of these for me was just like just drinking straight out of the bottle,
Yeah.
almost.
And
Would you order individually any of these again?
well, and see, that's what I was just gonna say. I'm sad that I got the flight, and I kind of wish that I would have just gotten a nice straight up dirty martini,
Yeah.
with extra olives or something, and that would have been fantastic because we've had them before.
Yeah.
At the Brown Derby.
Yes.
Michael loves them too.
Uh-huh.
Kat will get one too sometimes, and so yeah, I've had it. So yes, I would absolutely order a martini. But
Not
I would,
technically one of these, though. You would basically
Correct.
say, I'd like
But
a
if
dirty
I-
martini,
But if I
extra
did,
olives.
if you were like, well, let's go ahead and pick one to, I would have done the pomegranate one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and then that leads into, because there's a pomegranate as well, I went ahead with the margarita flight. Same deal. You can get any of these for $15 for a single drink, $17 for the flight of 3. This comes with a classic margarita, a blood orange margarita, and a pomegranate margarita. When you go to the classic, that's got Jose Cuervo. It's got lime juice, sweet and sour, Grand Marnier float, Your blood orange has the Jose Cuervo Salerno blood orange liqueur, an X-Fusion liqueur, and sweet and sour. And then your pomegranate margarita is Jose Cuervo, that pomegranate liqueur, and sweet and sour. Honestly, I only ordered this just to try them to review. I'm not usually a big margarita guy because I'm not a tequila guy. But I actually thought all three of these were delicious. Even the classic margarita I thought was outstanding.
Awesome.
Like, not strong notes of the tequila. Everything that I read, when I say classic, think lime. When I say the blood orange, you can think blood orange, and the pomegranate was pomegranate.
Nice.
And so I thought the flavors were balanced really well. I would probably rank them from pomegranate to blood orange, and then classic being number 3, but I'd order any one of these as a single drink.
Wow.
As somebody who's not usually a big fan of margaritas.
Right.
So I would highly recommend this flight unless you truly love just straight liquor, and then you can get your martini flight. Right? Because seriously, that thing was like, it's one of those you take, like, for those martini, you take a sip and you just go like, oh.
Like a cat.
Yeah, like just a bit too much. Let's move on to, we got a charcuterie board.
Yes, we did.
And this is a chef's selection of cured meats, cheeses, and accompaniments for $21. How did you like the charcuterie board? We had some prosciutto. We had some, salami. There was like a blue cheese, a Gouda. You had a little jar with pickles that I pointed in your direction.
Yep. And I ate them and they were good.
Some thin, like, crackers, like sesame-style crackers. What was the game changer, though, on this board?
They had some blue cheese and honey.
Yeah, like a little piece of honeycomb.
Yeah.
Fresh, like, honeycomb.
And eating those together was fantastic. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was, you got this, stinky, pungent blue cheese. And we both like blue cheese.
Yes.
But I totally get people that don't. But then you took this sweet kind of honey, fresh honey, like some bees. Literally, I feel like we're back in the kitchen just making this. And yeah, that combination of the blue cheese and honey on that little thin cracker, like, and the cracker really only was a vessel to consume it. I could have just taken a spoonful of this blue cheese and honey and eaten it. I loved it. You know what? I oddly think this would just be amazing on like a grilled chicken sandwich with blue cheese and drizzle of honey and maybe like some lettuce and crispy bacon. Yeah. That would be outstanding.
Sounds like
the meats were great. The prosciutto, the salami, everything was good on this.
Yep.
I thought it was a decent charcuterie board.
Yeah. I think it was it Serrano ham or something?
Yeah, I think it was. I'd get this again. And again, it's very shareable. In fact, once we got to our kind of entrees, we're glad we got the charcuterie, but I felt like we got full fast.
I do too.
So what did you go with, which you have had before? And it's actually changed out here, because it used to be it was a lounge portion. It used to be. Remember, it was in that much smaller bowl.
And I felt like it was like a wedge too of salad, but I don't remember.
No, maybe it's the famous Cobb salad.
Yeah. Sorry.
But go ahead and tell them what's in it, what the price is, and how you.
So
like it.
It's just your, split roasted turkey, bacon, egg, tomato, blue cheese, avocado, classic dressing, for $20. Well, you can add chicken for $27, or you can add shrimp for $29, and then it said it had lobster for $32.
Well, as your total price. That's not the addition price on top of the 20. That's an expensive chicken.
Yeah. So I asked for the lobster because I was like, well, I feel like you've done chicken before or shrimp, but I don't think I've ever done lobster. So unfortunately, though, I guess it's not the time of year right now for it.
They're just not in season for it, so they're not carrying them.
They didn't have it,
which I appreciate very much.
Oh my goodness!
Because honestly, they're probably using Maine lobster. They're using some cold water, whatever lobster potentially. I don't know the seasons of them, but I'm glad that they're not just importing it from anywhere they can find a lobster. I think it's great to hear that. They're not in season for the quality and all that they want, so they just don't get it. So what did you go with instead then?
So I opted for the shrimp then. So my lunch was $29.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can't go wrong with this Cobb salad. it is literally their famous Cobb salad and so amazing and good.
Yeah.
The shrimp were nice and big. In fact, they were so big that I cut every single one in half and
It
pretty
came with
much
4 shrimp,
I
didn't
believe
it?
so.
Because at first you were like, that's only 4 shrimp.
But they were so big
Yeah.
that I cut them in half, so I had 8 pieces of shrimp.
And if you had cut them in quarters, then it would have been like having the size of the shrimp at the Boathouse.
Oh my goodness!
I can't talk about shrimp without bringing that up. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I apologize, everyone.
But yeah, so it was neat because I actually then ended up having a definite bite. Almost every bite could have been with having a piece of shrimp with it, and it was good, nice size. What do you call them? Plump shrimp.
Yeah, really were,
because they weren't like thick. They were thick. That's what I was trying to say. Like they weren't skimpy and skinny.
I was really impressed with that. Their Cobb salad. I think it's one of those things where, like, on paper, a Cobb salad is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just done to perfection.
Oh, yeah.
And I know I talk about that. If you talk about things like sandwiches or tacos or salads, it's not always about what goes in them as much as it is the balance of the ingredients, because you get too much dressing, it's gross. You get too little, it's not tasty enough. If you have just way too many tomatoes or blue like, they just balance this so perfectly, and it is such a refreshing dish. And I think it's perfect for the middle of a Florida day to sit down for lunch. It's going to fill you up, but not make you feel like gross and heavy. I love this Cobb salad so much. I opted for the BLT sliders. Now, in the past, they used to have a pork belly taco, I think it was, or it was either a taco or like a bao bun. And so this is chipotle glazed pork belly, pea shoots, tomato jam, and then pickled red onions. It's $18. You get 2 sliders with a side of house-made chips. First of all, chips, delicious. Good, kettle, thick, homemade chips. The sliders, when I first got them, I was a little nervous because I'm not big on tomatoes. Like, I will eat tomatoes, but I don't love them. And this tomato jam looked very rustic and very tomatoey, but it was amazing.
Oh, good.
Like, it had big chunks of tomatoes and you could see the seeds, but it was so good. And the pork belly was like a 3/4 inch, half-inch, 3/4 inch thick slice of pork belly that was super crispy on the outside and crazy tender on the inside.
Awesome.
Even just the little addition of the pea shoots and the pickled red onion, this was so good. They're 2 pretty good size sliders, so I was very full at the end of it. I know we've talked a lot about Hollywood Brown Derby and how much we love it. I still think it's one that flies under the radar a lot of times. You know, I think a lot of people go to Hollywood studios and they're so focused on a sci-fi or 50s prime time for good reason. Yeah. Because of kind of what they are. That, you know, they have much more of that entertainment value as well. But Hollywood Brown Derby and the lounge, which again, you can order the entire menu from indoors out at the lounge, I think is a really good spot to hit in this wait list thing. If you didn't have plans, I would join. And I would go ahead and try this place out if you never have. I think it's just amazing. Yes. So this past week we went down and, you know, we just reviewed last episode our trip to stay at the Holiday Inn at Disney Springs. We saw Blue October at House of Blues. And we met our good friend Jody for a dinner at Splitsville. Yes. Talk a little bit real quick, just give our couple bullet points on Splitsville, and then talk about our reservation situation and what we ended up doing as well.
So this is actually located at Disney Springs West Side. Really, it's right by the movie theater. So that's the best way to explain it. It does take AP discounts, 10%, and it is open from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. So we had reservations, and Jody was already sitting at a table outside by the outside bar.
It's such an awesome outdoor area.
Oh my goodness, it was. And there's live music, and it was a beautiful Florida day where literally we actually wanted to go ahead and stay seated outside. So I went inside and told the lady, like, hey, we have reservations, but it's beautiful outside. And she's like, yeah. And she just, I guess, like, checked us in or like said yes, and you're fine to sit out there and stay. So we did, and that was really fun.
I love that outdoor area, and they've got kind of think of like they've got all those slushies, alcoholic slushies, like a Fat Tuesdays or whatever that you can get, and yeah, they've got a little live music, like an acoustic duo going on there. Just this is to me one of those incredible outdoor spots.
Yeah.
That if you're thinking, you know what, I just want to hang out, I want to have some drinks, something to eat with some friends. It's a beautiful Florida day. Like this is a go. For sure. It's right near House of Blues as well, so we knew we were close. And the fact that they just I was trying earlier in the day to change the reservation, and I made the reservation through My Disney Experience, but because they're a third party, it was not allowing me to even change the reservation that day of to try and find a different time, because I was maybe going to push it back a little.
Which I'm sure there would have been plenty of time.
Oh, I'm sure we could have walked up. So that's what we figured. And so it was nice that they were able to just switch it around. But Splitsville is one of those places that I think you could say, all right, we got somebody in our family that likes burgers. We got somebody in our family who wants pizza. We got somebody in our family who wants sushi. We got somebody in our family who wants, whatever. You can get everything at Splitsville.
Yes.
I feel like. I mean, you've got in their appetizers everything from sliders to chicken tenders to edamame to loaded fries to nachos. They have 8 different pizzas. I've had their pizza in the past. They used to have one that had pork and I think it was a brie cheese on it and like maybe it was pear slices.
Oh, wow.
That was outstanding. They have a good sushi menu. They've got salads. You've got everything from burgers to chicken sandwiches. You can get fish and chips, a taco bowl, chicken fried rice.
Wow.
They really, really have, I think, something for everyone. And one of the things that I think is so surprising about here, I think this is actually one of the go-to sushi spots on property.
Oh, okay.
I think a lot of people think of like maybe Kona.
Right.
Or something.
Yeah.
There's not a ton. Morimoto, of course.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a ton of spots, I feel like, for sushi. And I actually think this one flies way too far under the radar. So Jody got the Crouching Dragon, which was tempura shrimp, asparagus, and avocado, typed with the spicy crab mix, drizzled with eel sauce, spicy mayo, and sriracha for $17. She absolutely loved it, enjoyed it. It is a nice, hearty, big roll, 8 pieces, full, all these toppings. If you're looking for sushi, I would go to Splitsville. Honestly, on property.
Yep. I agree.
What did you and I go ahead and order? Because we just decided, you know what? We're just going to do some appetizers. What was the first one that we selected? And let's kind of talk a little bit about our experience with that one. And our wonderful waiter, Greg, who was so awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll tell that here.
The cheeseburger sliders?
Yeah.
So they're 3 slider-style burgers topped with cheese, caramelized onion, and our special sauce. Lettuce, tomato, and pickles. So, of course, we asked Greg, don't put the pickles on there, please. Put them on the side because I can eat them.
And I even jokingly was like, you could put them in another bowl if you want.
Yeah.
And he did, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And it's not like they just laid them on the plate because then you get the pickle juice, it runs into the bun, then you got pickle bun, and then it's just a whole big
pickle
thing.
bun.
We don't need pickle bun.
You're funny.
This is what, $15?
Yes.
For the 3 sliders?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then so I don't think I really read special sauce really. I thought you did because you were kind of
No, I just
nervous.
let you order. Yeah, I just let you order. But then after he walked away, I saw on there it said special sauce. And here's my thing. Don't call things special sauce. I love Guy Fieri. We don't need to call it donkey sauce. Just tell me what's in it. House sauce. To me, that makes me nervous because I think it's going to have one of 2 things that I don't personally like, which is either mustard or mayo.
Right.
A lot of times that's what it'll be. Just tell me what your special sauce is.
And
it's not. Yeah, it was like straight mustard.
It wasn't straight mustard, but it was very mustardy, and they didn't just put it on one bun or one thing that I could take off. No, I mean that stuff was literally like
it was drenched.
It was on both buns. It went into the burger. There was like it's not like I could take off the lettuce or the tomato or something. No, I mean that thing was all over it. I liked them, but I didn't want all of them. So when Greg came back, I said, we didn't realize the sauce and the mustard.
You
and
ate 2 of them. We had a whole burger left.
Yes.
Sitting there.
And I was like, I'm not going to eat this. And he's not because of the sauce. Is there any way we can just get one that was just lettuce, tomato, and, or whatever. There's just whatever's on it with no sauce or pickles. And he's like, yeah, I can do that. And he did. And honestly, I think Jeremy got the best one because they looked like a little almost too done for me.
They're smash burgers.
Yeah.
Is what they are. I mean, they're little tiny smash burger sliders.
Right. But they were a little too done for me. And yours looked perfect.
It was delicious.
And yes, and I know, and I was very happy for that.
Yeah.
So
it was really cool because they didn't make an error. You
No.
know, they didn't do anything wrong. We just were unaware that that's what special sauce was.
Yep.
And it's not like we ended up leaving a whole slider.
Mhm.
So it's not like we just were like, hey, let's pull one over on him. He'll give us a replacement and I'll eat both of it. Like, it just.
Well, he even asked. He was like, "Are you going to eat that?" And I was like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm not."
I thought it was just really cool.
Yep.
And, I mean, I know that they're not going to be like, no, man, you're out of luck. Should ask what special sauce is. But
right.
I thought it was really great that they were so accommodating. No issue whatsoever.
Yep.
No extra charge.
Yep.
Nothing.
And I would have paid
very
for it
good.
as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, totally. But it was a really good little slider.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed it. I ended up eating a lot of the second appetizer we got after
Mhm.
the burger fiasco, which was a grilled avocado and ahi tuna. This is halved avocado. It's grilled and filled with a generous portion, and they're not kidding about generous, of seared ahi tuna tossed in spicy kimchi ponzu sauce. This is then topped with scallions, a spicy mayo, and served with sushi rice and crispy wonton chips for $18.
Mhm.
I don't like cooked avocado. For me,
Okay.
I don't like fried avocado and stuff.
Okay.
This just really had a grill on the top, but the actual chunks of avocado as you got into it were
Mhm.
still cool and fresh and delicious.
Oh, good.
Very hearty portion of the chopped and diced tuna was
Mhm.
good. The sushi rice was delicious. It sat on this bed of sushi rice. And it's salty, but kind of has that sweetness to it.
Mhm.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was.
Only thing I wish I had a little bit more of was wonton chips because I
bet
liked
you could have asked for more.
probably, and I liked to take the avocado and the tuna and put it on a wonton chip, almost like little tuna nachos.
Mhm.
So I could have probably asked for extra because I ran out while there was still a lot left. I apologize you didn't get to eat a ton of this because
That's okay.
once the burgers came, we kind of just split meals.
Yep.
And I do thank you for asking him for that spare burger because I'm so glad I got to try it
Mhm.
because I was like, don't worry about it. I'll just eat this. You eat the burgers. But what did you think of
I liked
what
it.
you did
It
have?
was very good. I really enjoyed. I mean, I like the burgers and with the special sauce because I
Oh, of course.
like all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and this avocado, oh my goodness, it was really good. And I'm almost sad that you couldn't eat the burgers because I almost probably like the
You would have
avocado.
preferred this more?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
Yeah. I like the burgers slightly better, but this again is one of those delicious, refreshing,
yes.
sitting outside
Yep.
when it's a 70-degree sunny day in Florida, listening to live music and
Yep.
having a drink. Like, this is a really good meal. It's kind of like sushi without being sushi. It's almost like a deconstructed
Mm-hmm.
tuna roll, I would say.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I really, really enjoyed it. I got to tell you, I think Splitsville, House of Blues, we've talked about in the past and dining there. I think this is a place that gets overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
And everything we've ever had there, we've been a couple times. We
Mhm.
haven't been often. I bet we've been 3 or 4 times over the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I've ever had an issue with anything we've had there. Everything has always been very, very good. And again, I don't think people talk about this place a lot.
Mhm.
Now, I would like to actually bowl here sometime
Oh yeah,
and get
that'd
some
be
food and drink and all. That'd be fun to maybe get like a group together and do it.
fun. Yeah.
But Splitsville, don't let it fly under your radar. You're thinking of Disney Springs, you're thinking of Boathouse and Morimoto and
Yeah.
Paddlefish, and those are all wonderful restaurants. I think this ranks up there with them, though. And I'd put House of Blues up in that same family. I think that's just,
Mhm.
they're good restaurants that nobody ever talks about.
Mm-hmm.
Appetizers, pizza, burgers, whatever you're going to get, this is the place to get it, especially as we said before, if you've got those picky members in your family. Because here's what I love about this is what I think about this place. We could go with your parents who are adventurous in eating.
Yes, they are.
But we could also go at the same time with my parents who tend to stick to much simpler foods.
Correct.
We could go with my brother who eats most anything, but shies away from just say breads and carbs. The kids, your brother and sister, like you could go here with a giant group of people, and I think everybody's going to be satisfied with something on the menu.
Absolutely.
Whereas you do go to a Morimoto, like we could never go to Morimoto with my parents.
Correct.
At all. We could go with yours, but not mine. So let's just say all 6 of us were going out to eat.
Correct.
Like this is the spot.
Yep.
I love it. I love
Yes.
it. Anything else you wanted to add? I guess you can talk real quick about your take-home Wednesday morning breakfast sandwich from Earl of Sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
Which we had not been to in a long time.
Oh, it was forever.
And we love Earl of Sandwich.
Yes.
There's just so much more to eat. We
yes.
just hadn't been in forever.
Yeah, we haven't.
And they do serve breakfast.
So they started serving breakfast, and Jeremy told me that, and I was like, oh, well, all right, let's go. I almost walked out just because the people in front was ordering lots of stuff.
Yeah, they took some time.
But I was like, well, we don't have any snacks or anything in the car ride home, and I know I'm going to get hungry probably here soon. So I went ahead and looked on the breakfast side and went ahead and stuck with a traditional bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. Well, excuse me, not biscuit.
Sandwich.
Yeah. I do believe it was on a brioche bun. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
This was really good. I really liked it. The cheese was really good and cheddar, and then, good egg. I like how the bacon was put. I feel like it's Disney's normal floppy bacon. I liked that. The whole sandwich was absolutely really good. I was very impressed with it. And then I got some chips, and then they had a 7-layer?
Yeah, 7-layered rainbow
cake. Vanilla or chocolate. I got vanilla because I knew the girls would eat that. They also had chocolate, but I was pretty much getting it to bring home for the girls. And Jeremy and I tasted it, obviously, so we can talk about it. That was a very well done cake. I mean, wow.
It was dense, but delicious.
Yeah, I think I was honestly shocked.
I was too.
It was. The icing was fantastic. I mean, the bites were, you wanted another bite and another bite. And yeah, the taste, it was neat because I tried to see if different layers tasted different.
Yeah, it's all just vanilla with food coloring, but it's a beautiful cake. Yeah.
Yep. Beautiful.
7 layers, all the colors of the rainbow, and absolutely delicious. Yep. I really do want to go back and just now have a good sandwich lunch at Earl of Sandwich.
Yeah,
next
so
time,
I was gonna.
I love their holiday sandwich.
Yeah, I was looking at they had a breakfast BLT, but of course that had mayonnaise on it. So I was like, well, let me get something that Jeremy can taste too. So, and you liked it as well?
Yeah, I did. I actually kind of like, I tend to think of a breakfast sandwich being on, a biscuit or a bagel or a croissant or something. I like them using kind of their bread as it. Same thing over at Everglazed. Remember that breakfast sandwich over there has that kind of sweet bread. It is absolutely delicious. Yeah. But I had not realized that Earl of Sandwich does breakfast. So I think it's a great go-to spot if you're heading over to Disney Springs. The stores are going to open at 10. Maybe go over a little earlier, grab yourself some breakfast from Earl of Sandwich or Everglazed Donuts, and then do your shopping and all that stuff. I think that's a good exit day strategy for your trip when you're, maybe leaving that day and you don't have a park, but maybe your flight or is until the afternoon, or, you don't have to drive home or whatever. So highly recommend there. But everyone, thank you so much for listening. As always, go out on social, Main Street Magic community. Let us know your thoughts on the Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge. Let us know your thoughts on Earl of Sandwich, on Splitsville, whether you've tried them or not. Maybe we opened your eyes to, Splitsville that people never thought of. Yeah. I hope, because, again, highly recommend. While you're out there, you can hit that subscribe button. You will get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And we would really appreciate it if you leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.